Hello everyone, I am at the Central Park station and waiting for the toy train. This is Mysore Rail Museum. This is the next series of what is unique in Mysore. And here comes the train. I'm not going to board the train, but just to set the context. Mysore Rail Museum is a very interesting place and let us see what it has to offer. Here is a legendary third class coach of the British era. Let us see what is inside this third class coach, which also has a guard wagon. Let me get in and see what it has. Of course, a few wooden benches arranged in a somewhat logical fashion of that era. Here is a luggage compartment. Here is a guard wagon attached to this same coach, which is pretty much self-contained for the guard of the train. Here is Maharani's cabin or the Queen's cabin, the most luxurious cabin of that era. This is a servant's room. This is the cook's rest room. This is a storeroom. This is Queen's dining room. Maybe some bedroom and washrooms. This structure helps attaching another bogie to this bogie. Here is how the luxury of that era looks from outside while standing on the platform. These two bogies are attached. Some prototypes of steam engines and stuff like that. Some prototypes of goods carrying wagons of various types and various characteristics. This is a working prototype of a steam engine or a steam locomotive. Here is another prototype. Here is an actual steam locomotive that was in operation in the past. Let me get inside and see what it has. Here are the controls for the pilot or the driver. Here is where the coal is stored. Pilot controls again. This is a water column which is located in most major stations. It is used to produce steam to help the coal act as a fuel. These are some other coaches where passengers used to travel. This probably looks like a little bit luxurious coach of that era. This says a meter gauge wooden wagon, maybe something which is used to carry goods. This seems to be a crane which can lift heavy items, probably to lift the wagons if they derail. Yes, a hand operated crane. This is a rail coach which has been renovated into a little restaurant with a few seats and a few snacks. Here is how it looks like from inside. There is a dining area and a sink. Here's a pantry with a vending machine. And probably an area where the food is heated or cooked. Let me get down from the railway station and see what other goodies they have. This is a narrow gauge steam locomotive manufactured in England. Let me see what is there inside. This is a bogie hopper wagon. Let me explore what this one is. That one was a goods carrying compartment, and this is a steam locomotive. This is an arrangement to reverse the steam locomotive. If you see the steam locomotive, it looks different from the front and the rear. So it needs to be reversed, probably for some purpose as well as for aesthetic reasons. The locomotive is brought into the turntable. The lever is used to turn the turntable, and now the locomotive would be reversed. This is a small rail car used for inspecting the railway tracks. This is a railway level crossing where the road meets the railroad. This is used to open and block the road. This is a boiler where the coal is burned to produce steam. This is the look and feel of the railway station with various kinds of things in it. This is a second generation locomotive, that is a diesel locomotive where the diesel is burned to create energy to move the train. Here are some old telephones used for communication between different railway stations. These are some controls for the telephone. This is a control system to prevent two trains from colliding when they cross at a particular station. This is a token system to prevent more than one train from being in a sector that is between two different stations. These are a few components of the railway track. This is a push trolley used by the maintenance staff to inspect the railway tracks. These are the representations of the broad gauge, meter gauge and narrow gauge, the three different gauges that were in existence in India. Here are some hand signaling systems. Here are some color signaling systems. Here are some real wheels from broad gauge, meter gauge and narrow gauge. Here are some standard weights used in the olden days. Here is an inspection car used by the railways to inspect the railway tracks or accidents. Here is how it looks like from inside. Here is another inspection car. Let me get in and see what it has. These are used by senior railway officials to inspect the railway tracks or to investigate an accident. They travel in these cars with whatever equipment that they need and personnel that they need to inspect an accident site. There were so many other things to show in the museum, but I would stop here and I would encourage you to visit this museum. If you like my videos, hit the like button. Remember to subscribe to my channel and get notified of my new videos.